What's up guys, JTails here, and today I'm going to show you guys how to play SANS in Smash. This is going to be a guide, and I think the first thing we want to talk about is some of the special moves that are available, and what are some of the optimal builds. So, for the neutral special, I've seen Charge Blast and Grenade Launch the most. I know this is kind of like a Falco laser, I've tried it before. I don't think it's that great. I think that we can get KOs with Charge Blast, and even Grenade Launcher is really good for covering ledge options and punishing people off stage. Charge Blast is very versatile. You can cancel it while it's charging, and you can fake people out and grab them, or, you know, it's a great way to secure KOs and apply pressure. So I think we're going to go with the Charge Blast, especially since Grenade Launcher is a very slow projectile, and we're going to have other moves that cover the same niche. Next, for the side specials, we have Flame Pillar, which is kind of like Robin's Arc Fire. It's really good at creating a blockade in which your opponents have to jump. Then if we have Charge Shot, we can jump up and kind of intercept them above when they're jumping over it. Or we can go for the Gunner Missile, which is kind of like Samus's missiles. You have the homing and the super missiles. So it's pretty good as well for controlling horizontal space. Stealth Burst, it's kind of like the meh one. Don't really see a lot of use for it. It's very situational. It's kind of like Explosive Flame, or Din's Fire, which are mediocre projectiles at best. Since the missiles also control horizontal space really well and can also force opponents to jump over, I think we're going to go with this one just to control space and bait people to jump, so we can try to charge shot them or try to up air them. Now for this one, I was using Cannon Jump Kick on my Mii, since it's a great out of shield option and it can KO people pretty early, but the recovery height is not that good. It's a very short recovery. So it depends what you value more. If you want accessibility or recovery, like if you want a KO move, then Cannon Jump Kick's pretty good, but if you value recovery with your gunner, then Lunar Launch or Arm Rocket are the way to go. Arm Rocket, you can go in any direction, which is kind of cool, so it's more versatile, kind of like a Pikachu's up B. And then Lunar Launch is just like straight up, so kind of like a standard vertical recovery. For this one, I think we're going to go with the Arm Rocket because I think the flexibility on the recovery is very good and important, even though it doesn't have a hitbox, so we can get hit when we're off stage, so we want to be really careful, but I'm going to go with Arm Rocket here. And finally, the Reflector, which is kind of like Fox's Reflector, Psy Magnet like Ness or Lucas, and Bomb Drop, which I think is a really good projectile. It's kind of like Samus's bombs. You just drop them very quickly and they linger for a little bit, so they control a lot of space and then they explode. I think we're going to go with this one since these two are matchup dependent. If your opponent doesn't have projectiles, then it's completely useless. So I'm going to go with the Bomb Drop overall. So this build is 1-3-3-2. I think it's a pretty solid build. I've spoken to a few Mii Gunner mains, and this is kind of like the information I'm getting. But you can, you can vary it up. You can go with 3 for this one. You can go with 1 on this one sometimes. Arm Rocket is, you can vary the up special as well. So let's get into it, guys. Alright, we haven't seen Sumos in quite a while, but this is not going to be a Sumos guide. This is going to be a SANS guide. So let's get right into it. Alright, we haven't been to this stage in quite some time, but it is somehow very, very fitting. So, first thing to note, Fair is really, really good for propelling you. And I'm basically just jumping in the air and holding the direction I want to move in and fairing with the C-stick in the opposite direction. So I'm just kind of like holding back towards my back, and then I'm fairing in the opposite direction. So you just give your back to the direction that you want to fly in, then you can double jump and use the C-stick. So this is good for recovery, or it's good for mixing up your landing. Really useful. So yeah, it doesn't propel as far as it did in Smash 4, but it's still a very good movement tool, and you can use it to go into your attacks. So it's kind of like a cool way to mix up what you want to do if you get the right height. Aside from that, Fair is, you know, just an average projectile used to zone in neutral. Deals 6 damage. Fair deals more damage from up close, but for the most part, you're going to be using it as a zoning tool to space people far away from you. So we have the charge shot build, which might be a little bit more of a zoning build than usual. But basically, your goal is going to be to get this charge shot, create a wall with your missiles that force your opponent to jump or shield, right? And the cool part about missiles is that you can actually run behind them. So if Donkey Kong decided to shield this homing missile, I could kind of grab him and set up for something else, right? For the missiles, if you press forward and B simultaneously, you'll get a super missile, which is a fast traveling. It accelerates, it gets faster and faster over time. If you notice, it starts off slow and then it starts accelerating faster. So that's the super missile. Homing missile is you just hold forward and press B. So you'll get the slow traveling ones, which allow you to follow behind. And it's kind of cool if you want to pressure along with those missiles. But the super missiles are great. They deal a lot of damage. 17, which is tremendous. The down B is really good from up high, and you can also B reverse this input to mix up your momentum as well as apply more pressure, right? So it's kind of like I can fall with them and jump in with a grab if I want to. So learning how to B reverse this is useful, and I made a video all about B reversing. You should definitely check it out if you are unfamiliar with this concept. But you can kind of use this grenade as a guard, right, and run in with it. And since you know people are probably going to be scared and might want to shield, you can use it to protect you since it doesn't actually hurt you on explosion, right? So this is a form of movement that can be really useful for closing distances and playing neutral in a certain way if you want to apply pressure. So definitely full hopping and throwing down neutral B can be good. Just be aware that your opponent might scout this out and try to jump and punish you, or, you know, interrupt you before you come down with it. It is a slow projectile. It's also really, really good on the ledge if you just kind of like leave it right on the ledge where your opponent's trying to get up on. Yeah, so it's a really good tool for ledge trapping. You can use it in this way as well. Another really cool thing you can do is when your opponent's off stage and they're gonna get on the ledge, you can use this to bait their option, right? So you use down B to bait and force them to get up, and if they do forward get up or roll, forward smash covers both of those options. It's really, really good. So regardless of what DK does, unless he jumps, if he was to roll, he would get hit by forward smash, and if he was to forward get up or get up attack, he would get hit by forward smash. So forward smash is your primary ledge trapping tool along with down B, depending on where you space it, right? But this covers a lot of space on the ledge. So once you get your opponent off stage, it's basically go time, and they have very limited options. You might even be able to clip their jump with this forward smash. The one thing that it doesn't beat is if they hang on the ledge and wait for you to forward smash, then they jump over it, because it does have decent end lag, right? He has to kind of like pull his gun back. But I think forward smash is best used for ledge trapping, so definitely keep that in mind when you're playing SANS. Up air is very similar to forward smash, as it's like the same type of bullets, but you can do this while moving horizontally. So you can do things like up throw up air. It's not a true combo. They can air dodge, but it's still really hard to avoid this. So in some cases you will want to up throw up air and try to trap people's landings, right? And if you have this charge shot already charged up, guess what? You create a situation where they can air dodge, sure, if they want, but if they happen to air dodge, you can then blast them with the charge shot and they come down. So especially if they directional air dodge. So definitely having this charge shot powered up is going to be important for creating traps. So any given time that you throw your opponent off stage, you want to take that opportunity to start charging up. And then he's on the ledge, so we're going to do our forward smash, right? But whenever you knock your opponent away, that's your time to start powering up. And then now that you have your charge shot, you can start creating situations with missiles to bait the jump and shoot there, because people will tend to either just block the missiles or jump over them. And when they jump, you jump and shoot. Or you throw them in the air, up air, and then when they air dodge, inevitably you can either jump and shoot or shoot them when they land on the ground. Unless they have a reflector, then be very careful. But these are some ways that you can set up into KOs, as well as, you know, the ledge trapping stuff that we talked about. Back air is also another kill move that Gunner has, and it's best if used off stage if possible. So yeah, down B is basically your neutral and way to approach. Charge shot is going to be your win condition for the most part, aside from like up air and forward smash and back air, of course. Your missiles are going to be the way that you just rack up damage and also create situations for you to punish people for jumping. So you can do things like this, right? And if they jump over it and jump forward, you're going to have them covered there as well. And if they land, you can use forward smash if you want, or you can use the charge shot. So you have a lot of ways to control a lot of space with this character. Important to note that every time you create another down B, the first one will explode. And if you don't, it sits around for a little bit longer. One of Gunner's weaknesses is that he doesn't have any real out of shield options. You can try to nair out of shield, but it's not really going to hit short characters, so you want to be really careful. Most of the time when I'm getting pressured in my shield with Gunner, I'll jump and just get away from the situation. So that's something that's really important. Not a lot of characters have this weakness. I mean, Joker does and a few others, but it's still a very unique problem to have. So don't get caught up with trying to like back air out of shield or nair out of shield, because you might just be doing more harm than good. Just get out of there, right? Just use your fair or roll away. Be careful with your rolling, obviously, but just remember you don't have any out of shield options, especially if you don't have the cannon kick, right? Because this doesn't have a hitbox, so it will not hurt anybody. Also note that you can charge and jump. So if you want to cancel it or bait people out, you can keep charging and jumping and kind of like scaring them. You can also B reverse with the charge if you want to really mix people up and scare them. And you can B reverse the charge shot as well, which can be a really good surprise. Actually, one of my favorite things to do with the charge shot is, check this one out. Oftentimes, when your opponent's on the ledge, they're just waiting for an opportunity for you to get out of the way, right? So one thing that I'll do is I'll jump off stage, and they'll often do forward get up or get up attack or something, or even a roll, right? So then I just jump off, and this is just a bait. And when they choose their ledge option, you can shoot them by facing towards the stage when you jump off, and this has gotten a lot of mileage for me. In terms of securing KOs and catching people off guard. The only issue is that since you're sending them across the entire stage, it's less likely to KO. They have to be at a really high percent, so just be aware of that. So Mii Gunner's up throw deals a whopping 15%. At low percents, they might be able to avoid that laser shot with good DI once they're at higher percents, but it's still 15 damage, which a lot of characters have a hard time getting that much, especially off of a grab. So I think at low percents, it can be good to up throw. I know arguments can be made for down throw because of positioning, but I think the raw damage here is just really nice, and you can still set up for an up air for the most part. And depending on your build, you can throw people off stage with forward throw or back throw for position, and then try to down B them. However you want to do it. Nair can actually lead into a tech situation. So if they miss this tech, you can get a forward smash, guaranteed. Or a charge shot for that matter. So do keep in mind that a Nair will force your opponent to tech, especially at mid percents. I want to say from 70 to 90. Falling with Nair is not a bad idea. Even a rising Nair can catch people off guard if you want to intercept people with the Nair. It's a pretty big disjointed hitbox, so I would recommend short hop naring as a kind of like a get off me tool. It gets the job done. But if you need to KO, that's when back air is going to come into play. Back air is also safe. So if your opponent blocks back air and you space it correctly, they cannot punish you for it. So Meat Gunner does have a lot of safe ways to poke, and they definitely should be utilized. Down tilt's kind of like Samus's down tilt. It pops them up. Up smash out of shield might be the only out of shield option. Even though it is a little slow, it will get the job done in terms of KOing. So consider up smash out of shield as your out of shield option. Just be really careful against small characters and people who land behind you while you're shielding. So this will kind of only hit taller characters who are in front. But up smash is also a great anti-air if you want to contest people from coming from above you. Up tilt and up smash are great ways to do this. So you can kind of create a bubble around you that nobody can pass when they're falling above you. So that's one thing I think that is really strong about Meat Gunner, is that he can create walls horizontally and vertically if he's on the ground. So whenever anyone jumps directly on top of you, you just up smash, up tilt. Whenever they're coming horizontal, you keep them at bay with missiles and charge shots and down Bs, and when they jump over that, you can fair them in the face or charge shot them in the face. If you need to escape, you can use the fair to really escape the situation. Ledge trap with down B and create a lot of pressure with F smash and up air to force air dodges, get them up in the air, and then create more pressure situations with your up air. Oh, you can also drag people down with your up air and grab them. So you can kind of drag down with up air. It's not easy. You just have to make sure that you press down as you're initiating your up air, and it'll pull people down slightly. Dash attack is another really good way to break a zone, and this move actually has a lot of power to it. So don't sleep on dash attack because it's a really good horizontal burst move in the event that you do need to clear some space. But obviously, if it gets blocked, you will get punished, so be very, very careful with dash attack. But I like dashing up tilt as well. You can do tilts out of your dash by letting go of the analog stick while you're dashing and then pressing your tilt before your momentum subsides. So it's a really good way to like track people in the air and not let them come down on the ground. So I'm just running, letting go of the analog stick, and then pressing up on the C stick. Also, the importance of creating mind games with your charge shot is really important, because fake a charge shot and then run in and grab, since you know that people are going to be scared and are likely to hold shield. So you can actually just cancel it and hold shield. One of my favorite setups after back air is back air into forward tilt, because a lot of people will try to shield grab you, and forward tilt's a really fast move. So if you hit someone's shield with back air, generally I like to forward tilt, since I know they're likely to push a button thinking that it's punishable. In some cases you can back air forward smash too, if you kind of have a read on what your opponent's going to do. But back air is a really just good way to apply pressure and then get some advantage out of the situation. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. I'd greatly appreciate that, and let me know what character you want to see me make a guide for next. And consider subscribing to the channel. I make tons of tutorial videos for Smash if you're trying to learn and improve at the game. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all next time.